you don't have anything in common. And for a relationship to work, you have to have something in common.
How big of an age gap are we talking? Would you
So
say?
I'm talking 20 years. I'm talking 15 to 20 years.
That is a big gap.
That's a big age gap, y'all. 15 to 20 years. So if you are in that age gap dating somebody, you really have to find things that you have in common. I'll give you an example. There's a couple on TikTok. The man is 62. The young lady is 39. She went to his 40th or 41st class reunion. They were playing songs from back in the early 80s. She said, I don't know none of these songs. I was born in 88. So she was sitting down at the table while her 62-year-old husband was dancing with his classmates. He was reminiscing, having a good time. She couldn't relate because she thought the music was old. She said, I ain't never heard this song before. So there's an age gap. I know,
He's 62 and she was born in 88.
Well, she said 80 something. She was born in the 80s. She said she was born in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. She was born around the time he graduated from high school.
Oh, wow.
Yes. She said, I wasn't even born yet. So there's a big age gap there. So what do you have in common? Not that it cannot work. It can work if you want it to work, but there's going to be some discomfort in that age, and that's my opinion.
True, and that's true because I share my own personal story. My sweet spot is within 10 years. So yes. I typically like to date men like in their late 30s, early 40s. That's just my sweet spot.
My child, I'm against it, but that's what my child
10
likes.
10 years? You against 10 years?
How your daddy gonna feel about that?
Don't bring my dad in there. 10 years? We on the same maturity level. Ninjas that's 40. I'm more mature than most ninjas that's 40.
I wouldn't say 10 years, but I wouldn't want you to go 15.
Oh no, I would never do that. I would never do that. But I have dated someone that was 10 years older than me. And for the most part we ain't gonna put up my business out there. Pretty much grew up on mostly the same things in our childhood. We have the same like different context and can make the same different connection. We can still point out the same cultural references and it's not weird. The only time I was reminded of our 10-year age gap was when there was a song that came on in high school. And when I was in high school, like Travis Porter was really big. We're from Atlanta. So like the futuristic hip hop.
You're from Atlanta.
I'm from Atlanta. So when I was in high school, the futuristic hip hop was really popular. Like Travis Porter, Travis Porter, Roscoe Dash, Young Dro, Young LA. They were very, very popular when I was in high school. So it was a song that came on in the radio. We were driving in his car and I'm like listening to the song, dancing, bopping my head. And I'm like, yeah, do you remember when that song came out? And he looked at me, he was like, what? I was like, you don't remember when this song came out in high school? He was like, no. He was like, when I was in high school, he was like, the hot boys were hot. Lil Wayne and Juvenile taking over for the 99 and the 2000s. That was hot when I was in high school. Like BG, Juvenile, Lil Wayne, Manny Fresh, Lil Zane. They were popular. Master P when he was in high school. And so that was the only time where I was like reminded, like, oh, there is a 10-year age gap. Even though he was young and youthful, he didn't look like he was 10 years older than me. Like, he looked really good for his age, and that's not old to me. I don't think it is. And he took good care of it, so he had youthful energy. But that was the only time I was reminded, like, oh, there is a 10-year age gap between the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I
feel like I'm mature enough and I'm mentally savvy enough to handle a man that is 10 years older than me.
I think so. I agree.
I'm mature enough and I'm emotionally stable and balanced enough to where I'm not in a position of being finessed any more than than a woman that's also in her 40s. That would be the same age as him.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want you to walk in here with no 50-year-old.
No, I'm not walking here with no 50-year-old. Nothing against it, but it's just not my life. That's not my ministry. Let me go ahead and read these comments and see what y'all talking about. Cass said, now